Do you feel connected? Connected to God, connected to our church, connected to a deep sense of history and the way that God is moving in and among us. This coming Sunday here at Grace Presbyterian, we are going to be celebrating All Saints Sunday, where we look back across the last many months of all of those in our church who have passed on, who are now living that resurrected life. And we're going to lift up their names here in worship. We are going to remember them out loud. And as we remember their names, we're going to remember the legacy that they left here to us, our church, our people, and the history that has brought us to this moment. Also this Sunday, we're going to be talking about Joshua as he led the people of Israel across the last legs of the journey into the promised land. And the text this Sunday is a great one because the people of Israel stand right on the edge of the Jordan River, wondering how they're going to get across it, because it is a major barrier between them and this promised reality, that promised future that God had been telling about now for decades. And as they are standing there at that river, what comes to mind is the generation or two generations before them that had been standing at the Red Sea as the people of Israel just two generations earlier had been trying to cross that Red Sea to escape slavery as they were trying to make it in the world. And this group of people had gotten to the Red Sea, and Moses strikes the sea with that famous rod that he had, and the waters part, and they're able to cross on dry land into safety. And now this new generation of the people of Israel are standing at this new place of water called the Jordan River, and the same thing happens again, that Joshua asks the priests to take the Ark of Covenant out into the middle of the Jordan, and as they do, the waters begin to part. And isn't that exactly how God works in our lives? God is working in our lives just in the same way as the stories that we have heard, in the same way that our ancestors and these people that we now are standing on the shoulders of and living the legacy of and living out in reality the imaginations that they had, that God is working in us in the same way, and the similar things that happen to them will happen to us as well. And this deep sense of connection is what brings us to church. It's what brings us into this space that we call sacred, that we call holy, as we pursue, as we seek God, so that we can go back out into our world, living a life full of grace, bringing grace to the chaos of our own lives as well as the lives of so many people that we will encounter during the week. And God will work in our lives the same way that God has always been working. God will part the rivers. God will part the seas. God will do amazing things so that we can go into the future that God has for us, so that we can indeed, just like them, enter into the harvest of God and find ourselves right in the midst of God's presence, right in the midst of God's will, right in the midst of what God has for you and me. So come out this Sunday here to Grace Presbyterian Church. We'd love to have you here as we celebrate the saints, as we celebrate the ways that God has always been working and will continue to work in our lives. See you on Sunday. Thanks.